Hey Collective, welcome to Copper Visions. My name's Antonio and this is your reading. It's been a while since I filmed anything, so I'm giving myself as much grace as I can, just in case anything kind of weird comes out. Oh great, we have the lovers. So this is lovely, actually. You might be in the midst of making a choice about staying in a relationship or leaving one, or this can be you evaluating whether or not you feel truly connected to who you are. And I would say that actually takes a lot more courage than making a hasty decision, you know? Actually, what is it, Collective, that you need to know about the connection you have with Spirit, about the connection you have with yourself? You know your worth. You know that you belong here, or there is somewhere you belong. In the grand scheme of things, you understand that the place that you are taking up is a place that you're choosing to be. And perhaps you are creating this space, and maybe this space is being created for you by the divine. Wow. Perhaps I'm reading for people who resonate more with divine feminine energy. However, it doesn't matter your gender. The thing is that it's a time to acknowledge where your true feelings, where your true loyalties lie, within what values you have in regard to how you live your life and how you treat other people, how you treat yourself, right? We have the Six of Wands next. You know, I'm trying this new thing right now where I pull 7 cards and I'd like to read them as I get them. But there's 7 because of the 7 chakras that we have. And so I want this to be efficient. I want this to be effective. I do want you to see the cards, and, you know, I'm not sure how much you'll feel by the end of this, like it was really your reading, but the thing is that if you don't resonate with something or you don't want to be here anymore, you can go, you know? Any reading, if you feel like that. Don't force it to fit. Don't force anything, honestly. I think we're taught in society to kind of grind until our bones are showing, and that's the type of energy that we are calling out these days. In work environment, at home, you know, with family, in relationships, you know. We're here to love one another. We're here to create peace. We're here to raise the frequency of the planet so that we can all experience healing, divine love, and to land in a place of prosperity and abundance. I mean, if you resonate with any of that, then something within this reading is for you. We have Page of Cups. And so I haven't talked about which chakras these are lining up with, but I will. So allow me to do something new as much as you would allow yourself. And maybe you're having trouble actually beginning the thing or doing the thing that inspires you the most. It might scare you. You might have a little bit of resistance to it because you've stayed in a comfort zone for a little too long. And, you know, I think you're always in the right place at the right time. And when you decide to move is when you should move, you know? So take it or leave it, you know? But perhaps you've been feeling like this. Perhaps you've been feeling like, oh, I should have done this thing by now, or there's something that I needed to do, and I've kind of just been waiting around, or, you know, maybe, well, not maybe, but there is a reason why you have waited as long as you have, and perhaps you've needed to integrate something from a completely new angle, which was, I think, generally the title that I gave the last reading I posted. And what's odd is that, you know, I feel guided to share this. You know, it's been almost 2 weeks since I filmed a reading, and there has been so many things that have happened in the last 2 weeks, beautiful and also scary in regard to being seen, in regard to putting or bringing something new into this world, you know? So perhaps you've been doing that. Perhaps you've been working. I'm seeing, I want to say painting. Perhaps one or some of you have been painting something or creating something, choreographing something, writing something, living something out that is... I'm getting the word tickle. It just tickles you. That's awesome. That's awesome, collective. So your root so far, your root is the Lovers. Yeah. Gemini energy. And Sag. Empress. Earth sign vibes, Taurus. For the sacral. What's next? The heart. Success. One moment. I just want to make sure I'm doing this. This is your solar plexus, excuse me. This isn't your heart. This is your solar plexus. So this has to do with your willpower. You are willing yourself forward because it's time and you can feel it. Your heart, however, you have something to offer. You might feel like you're still envisioning a way in which you can offer something to someone, or you can create an environment for something to be nurtured, and it's in its beginning stages. What we have next is the throat. So what is collective? Ooh, wow. And we have, okay. The last three wanted to just pop out. I think Spirit is like, hey, let's go. Ooh, the throat. So there's something you got to say in regard to walking away. There's something that's been working, but it's not quite been working the way you expected it to. This could be a mindset. This could be an old way of being. I do not know specifically because there are so many of you. However, if you know, you know. Now, I'll clarify this a little bit later. And I hear a baby crying right now outside the window, which is about, your inner child not feeling heard or seen or understood. Or just needing something. Perhaps there's just something you need. Something else you need. Something else. Okay. Well, the reason why we're moving forward into the chakras is because it's really helpful in regard to establishing from your root all the way up to your crown the process at which things are happening. And so your third eye, your vision right now is actually one of coming together with Spirit, with the divine, with your soul tribe, with your community, with your collective that you have, that you share. And I feel like it could be this. It actually could be this. And I would be super honored if this really meant something to you, this place, Thank you, by the way, for being here. It wouldn't be the same without you. It really wouldn't. Oh, okay. Well, the crown. Mystery. You don't know. You don't know. You're not sure because there's and I'm getting the number 18 a lot. I mean, this card is the number 18. But synchronicities, angel numbers. And I'm not getting although 555 could be significant, just major change, like a definite shift has happened for you, and you probably knew exactly the moment it happened, or there was something that felt different than it normally does. Maybe it's when you woke up this morning, maybe it's something else. But I'm going to go ahead and clarify now the Lovers. This feels like you maintaining your integrity. This feels like it's important to maintain your integrity. And it feels kind of heavy, not gonna lie. It feels very hard. It feels difficult to move through this energy. Maybe there's some plans that will be disrupted because of this. Maybe there's... What, Spirit? Oh, something you gotta leave behind. Something that's toxic. So I got the Devil and the King of Cups. Now, I'm not feeling like I necessarily want to put these down anywhere specific. But this is the shadow wanting to be acknowledged. This is a very emotionally charged situation where something has gotten its grip on your mind, and it's reaching for your heart, and perhaps it threw you out of a coherent state. A coherent state, by my definition, would be one where you feel in alignment with your body, with your heart, your mind, and your spirit, right? So this is between you and the divine. So can you clarify the Lovers, Spirit? Clarify the Lovers. This is something that definitely my heart goes out to you completely. Completely, 100%. Okay, I'm hearing it's ready. The Five of Cups to clarify the Lovers. Counting your losses. But also there's always these cups standing right behind the person. Right behind the person, and it's almost like, hey, I've experienced loss. And I'm getting Abracadabra from Lady Gaga, actually. The lyrics that she says in that song, there are no more tears to cry. Something about death and rebirth. That's really interesting. At the, what is it, the root? Excuse me. Grace. Yeah, root. At the root chakra, huh? Oh, gosh, the grief. It's heavy. Okay. Well, let's clarify with the Empress, because with the Empress knows healing. The Empress knows what a healing process is. She actually knows a creation process as well, because she's such a good healer. She's constantly creating from a very fertile place, from a very from really any environment. She can create abundance. She knows how to work with the elements, and this is genderless. And now there's a card that fell, but actually I don't feel like grabbing it. And this feels like a larger conversation. This feels like a much larger conversation to have about the Empress, because there's two cards that wanted to come out, but it's like, I don't want to take them. I want to take one. And I think that this is a time for you to really establish, hey, what are my boundaries with this thing? And maybe you're not necessarily walking away right now, but there's definitely something that you need to say about walking away from something, from a situation, and that can mean anything. If you're hearing something within this reading that you didn't quite know before, or you hadn't thought about at all before this reading, then I would say that part is not for you. But if there's something that's resonating that you already knew, this is kind of the nudge toward more certainty and more clarity in your life. And even if you have to admit something to yourself for now, before you admit something to someone else, then just so be it, and let it sit with you so that you can really integrate what it's trying to tell you and why. Understanding the why is actually probably way harder than doing anything else about it, So you have the Chariot, moving forward. That's the way to move forward. I think that's just confirmation at this point with the Empress. I'm gonna just, I'm gonna acknowledge, this is how I feel. I'm gonna find the facts within that and move forward. Yeah. Okay. Because why? Maybe I don't even see it. I don't even see the card that fell. So I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, well, Six of Wands. To clarify the Six of Wands, excuse me. This is the Four of Swords. You can rest in the success you know is coming to you. You are successful. As you move forward, you are successful. This feels... I will clarify the questions we have by the end of the reading, but I do want to keep moving forward because we have a lot of ground to cover, and you know that. If life were as simple as a box of chocolates, we'd already know how to make each chocolate. We'd know what we want to fill it with. We know all the things. There's just something mysterious, and it's really, really interesting because now there's 3 cards that wanted to come out, and I'm going to let them, and I'm going to lay them out how they came. The Moon first. Mystery. Page of Cups. Now, you might be feeling distracted, and it's not helping you discern what the Moon is trying to tell you, what you need to understand in the quiet of your heart. Like there's something your heart wants to say, but you'll only hear it in the quiet. So taking time to meditate, taking time to really give yourself the free of noise space that you can will do the trick. That's what I'm hearing. And so now we move on to this Eight of Cups. And it's really, really odd because the Six of Wands again underneath it. There's something very successful about you walking away from something. This feels very forthright. This feels very direct. And if that's a little bit jarring for some of you, I just want to acknowledge that. I'm not necessarily apologizing, however, this is serious stuff. And I take it as a huge honor and privilege to be able to read for you today. I don't know the exact situation, but I do know that you're a real person, having a real experience in real life, So to clarify, the Three of Cups is the Seven of Pentacles. I always hear with this card, is the juice worth the squeeze? However, this is a reevaluation of what have I been connecting to? And how do I really feel about it? I do see a heart here, a purple heart. It almost looks like a vegetable too. So something about alkalizing your body, going through a purification process, a detox of sorts. And if you feel called or inspired to do that, that is your choice. You have freedom of choice. This is up to you. It's just perhaps that'll help make things more clear if you take the time to really quiet everything down. So now we clarify the Moon, which has come out twice, by the way, in this reading. The The Moon has come out twice, and the Six of Wands has come out twice. So there's a success that you're actually not aware of. There's a great success that you're not aware of. And so, ooh, the Moon, whatever is being hidden nearly escaped me. It's the Hierophant. Right away I was hearing nonconformity. You're conforming on your terms. Because I think there's a level of, there's a degree of, having to conform. Because, we got to make money, we got to pay the bills, we got to do something like that to make ends meet, But at least it's on your terms, something like that. Not at least, but when it is on your terms, that's when you're winning. When you decide, hey, I know I have to work this many hours during this week, but this is when I'm working, I'm hearing a lot of buts. However, you're the Empress. Remember. The Hierophant. Some sort of finish line here. Once you do this thing, or say this thing. And a lot of pink as well. And again, just a larger all-around reference to how important it is to be and spend time in your feminine energy, your creativity. If you feel chaotic, make something. If you feel like you don't belong somewhere, make something that shows how you feel, It could be very cathartic, be very healing, but also it could remind you of how creative, resourceful, magnificent, proud you should be of yourself and who you are. Five of Wands. I'm hearing unnecessary conflict. Unnecessary conflict. King of Wands at the top, which you don't see coming. You taking full charge of the situation. So, I just want some guidance on this thing about what collective's walking away from, because this is a very, very, it's a matter of the heart. Well, it's a matter of speaking, actually. It's a matter of the throat chakra. Expressing your success. Oh, like, hey, I have walked away from this thing. Or maybe you need to tell people that you walked away from something. That could be it as well, actually. And you've been scared to because of what it might do, how it might affect your reputation or something like that. And a card just came out. Believe in the impossible. Blue moon. Oh my gosh. And this happened this year too, the blue moon. This card came out when I did a reading next to this place called Solomon's Temple in Buxton. I'm just trying to remember where it was in regard to England. However, there's some type of location or some type of place could be significant. That's why I brought that up. But, to clarify this mystery, to clarify this walking away, believing in the impossible, you can walk away from something. You can. And there's success here for you when you do that, or you say that, and that you found that was a success for you. Stand on it, Put some respect on your name, I'm hearing. You can do this, and gosh, collective, who you are is absolutely magnificent, and you shine so brightly. People can't even stand to see you if they haven't reached a certain level of honesty within themselves. They look down. Uranus, tools, forebears, uniqueness. I just wanted to pull another card because it just feels so incredibly, oh man, it feels so incredibly fantastic, actually. And when I think of Uranus, I think of Aquarius, the star. You are a star. You are, and this card is about expressing and you're almost reinventing or recreating a world in which you're acknowledging old traditions or institutions, something old, and you're making something new. You're making something new. Camera got too hot there for a second. You know, while I was waiting for things to cool down, or perhaps while becoming aware of what this reading actually was all about, was that I think you already walked away from something. And now is the time, if you feel called to, if you feel inspired to talk about it, to share about it. Perhaps there's something wise that you chose to do while you were doing the walking away, or something unique that you did that led by example and that was connected to the integrity that you have been embodying, and reminding yourself, you know, I got out of something crazy or just something that you didn't prefer, but there's a reason why you went through what you went through. And now, remember that card that fell on the floor? Well, I found it. And it's the Ace of Wands. It's the beginning of your new life. It's the beginning of your new inspiration that is going to align you to the rest, I'm hearing. So, thank you so much for being here for this reading, and if anything resonated, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. So grateful for you. And I'm sending you my absolute best. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.